and the risk of events like dying and stroke and heart attack, suicide attempts, and works closely with hospitals to incorporate their AI algorithms into the hospital's business processes, things like the new patient admission process, for example. And then these algorithms execute upon admission of a new patient into the hospital, and then every 5 minutes for patients that are currently in the facility and for those that have recently been discharged. So some of the benefits that they're seeing have been to reduce readmission rates by 15%, improve patient outcomes. So I'd like to quickly give you some examples from some other industries. One of our customers is the Mediterranean Shipping Company. They're the world's second largest container shipping company. So right now, at this very instant, their container ships are transporting tens of millions of shipping containers around the world. And each container and all of its contents are all traced as they're routed and in more than 500 ports around the world, all in real time. And through the use of these smart sensors and Internet of Things, they're able to let their customers track the exact location and the status of their shipments at any time, anywhere around the world. And when unexpected events occur, as they often do, as things like weather events and strikes and port closures happen, the ships are dynamically rerouted in real time to minimize the chances of delays in arrival. So you can think of it like a B2B version of Uber operating worldwide with a massive documentation trail associated with all of the shipments. So, speaking of managing a massive documentation trail, no discussion of digital transformation is complete without talking about blockchain. So we are starting to see some of our enterprise customers running experiments and small-scale deployments using blockchain in a number of different industries, including in shipping and logistics. So blockchain is a distributed, secure ledger that's ideal for managing the decentralized activity and paper trail associated with container shipments. So for container shipments, the paper trail, certificates of origin, and titles to goods, and waybills, and bills of lading, hundreds of blockchain, which provides the ability to securely manage all of this decentralized activity and information, can help improve performance, remove friction, and reduce the container shipping costs. So one company has estimated that by using blockchain for container shipping, it will save them more than $5 million for each journey, just in improvements in labor and processing of documents. So I think there's still some technical issues that need to be worked out with blockchain, especially around performance at scale. But we are seeing customers that are starting to run some small projects now so that they can be ready when the technology is ready to scale. So I'd like to share with you what we're seeing from some of our customers in the manufacturing space, especially with our customers in Germany, where some of the companies that we're working with are really on the leading edge. So for many manufacturing companies, their world is changing very, very fast. So for example, industrial drills and many other components are no longer being sold by the piece part. Now manufacturers are being paid based on the number of holes being drilled or the number of actions that their products are able to perform in production. So the impact of this is that if their products aren't in production, there's downtime and the drill isn't drilling holes, not only is the customer not productive, but the manufacturer is not getting paid. So we're seeing our manufacturing customers aggressively leveraging technology to transform their businesses to be able to keep pace with this new world. So many of them are using smart sensors to continuously monitor operating conditions and key performance indicators of their products while they're in operation in the field. And they're incorporating that data back into engineering and into manufacturing to support revisions that will improve the quality based on real operating conditions and wear. And instead of traditional interval-based maintenance, manufacturers are now using AI to perform predictive maintenance. And that helps them eliminate failures, helps them generate more revenue because it minimizes downtime, reduces the number of service calls and the number of spare parts they need to keep on the service vehicles. So applying predictive maintenance instead of interval-based maintenance is especially important for products that can only be serviced during certain times. So we see this, for example, in a military or commercial vehicle that spends extended periods of time out at sea or deep in a mine. Another area in manufacturing where we're seeing innovation is in process and discrete manufacturing. So for these kinds of companies, it's critical that they monitor the health and the performance of the overall manufacturing facility in real time. And they're using sensors and technology and Internet of Things in new ways to do this. So many of these initiatives involve monitoring and optimizing operational equipment effectiveness, or OEE for short, which is the gold standard key performance indicator for measuring manufacturing productivity on the shop floor. So an OEE of 100% means you're manufacturing parts that have no quality defects as fast as possible with no unplanned downtime on the manufacturing floor. So what we're seeing now is that some manufacturers are not only monitoring OEE in real time, but they are performing what they call predictive OEE, where they're identifying and preventing a potential decrease in OEE before it happens. And the way that they're doing this is they're collecting all of the data streaming from the machines on the floor in real time, and they're running AI algorithms on the real-time data and on large sets of the historical data so that the algorithms can identify and prevent problems before they occur. So one final case that I'd like to present is from another one of our customers here in Chile. Innovation and digital transformation is critical to success in the public sector, as most of you here are well aware. In the recently launched Digital Agenda 2020, the government of Chile states its ambition to evolve from electronic government driven by operational efficiencies and internal priorities of individual agencies to digital government with more integrated and citizen-driven approaches for the use of technology to benefit its citizens. So here in Chile, our customer Chunchi, Junta Nacional de Jardines Infantiles, is tasked with providing high-quality free public education to children. Through the implementation of digital technologies, they've been able to significantly streamline many of their processes. Today, the kindergarten selection process is automatic. The application process has been transformed, reducing the time to complete the overall process from 7 days to just 2 to 3 minutes. They've integrated and streamlined 7 different areas, including systems for the Civil Registry Office, Department of Social Development, Human Resources, Welfare, and Social Security. And they tell us that some of the other benefits they're already seeing include eliminating duplicate information, an improvement in the ability to access information, to make important data-driven decisions, and to solve problems. Improvements in the quality and the traceability of the information, and improvements in customer service and in data security. So very exciting indeed. So I'd like to conclude by touching on what we've seen as some of the top challenges to successful digital transformation initiatives. So success depends on a lot more than just technology, as most of you already know. One common challenge is being able to gain access to all of the data that's needed, especially as it crosses systems as well as organizational boundaries. This can be even more challenging when working across different government entities. The availability of skilled technical resources is not just a problem in Chile, it's a worldwide problem, especially as projects require advanced technologies like working with big data and data lakes and machine learning and deep learning and artificial intelligence. So one solution is to become more aggressive in providing funding for education and training programs for 21st century jobs. Another is to work with technologies that can simplify some of the tasks that are required So we're seeing a number of new products that do exactly that. They make it easier to collect and manage and integrate data, to build new business processes, to perform business intelligence, and even make it easier to build and incorporate AI models, artificial intelligence, into the business. And finally, we can't overlook the organizational challenges. So very often, these are the most difficult to overcome, even more so than the technical challenges. Ideally, you have strong leadership that can create and enforce alignment at all levels of the organization, but that's not always the case. So we've seen how customers, especially big organizations, as well as customers in government, can have a lot of inertia and can be resistant to change. So there are a number of good resources out there that have been through this process with many other companies, and they can help and act as a guide for you. One approach that I've seen helps companies build cross-functional teams that act like startups inside larger companies, and they're protected and insulated from the mothership until they're producing results and ready to scale. So this approach has been able to produce successful results using far fewer people, especially when the overall organization is resistant to change. So I'd like to leave you with one final thought. In the words of Rupert Murdoch, El mundo está cambiando muy rápido. Los grandes ya no derrotarán a los pequeños. Será el rápido el que derrotará al lento. So it's an incredibly exciting time for Chile. You have the resources, you have the talent and the tools to be able to continue to accelerate growth and to set the example for the rest of Latin America to follow. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for your attention. I hope you found this useful and possibly sparked some ideas you can bring to your own organizations. Y les deseo a todos buena suerte y mucho éxito. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Bien, agradecemos a Joe por esta presentación.